there has been a lot of buzz. Like we go through so many articles on a daily basis, so many conferences surrounding just around agentic commerce. But what is it all about? It's very confusing, it's very overwhelming. There are so many tools trying to sell us so many things in the name of agentic commerce, but what's really happening? And of all of this, the biggest news that came in a couple of weeks back was Shopify merchants to pay 4% fee on ChatGPT checkout sales. What does this mean? Like if someone's, asking normal questions to GPT and GPT is recommending your product, will you get charged 4%? If the answer is yes or no, we are going to discuss that. And the answer to that question is yes and no both. And we'll discover that when it's a yes and when it's a no in today's call. We are going to learn all about agentic e-commerce and also very, very large focus on what exactly is this 4% for? Why is ChatGPT charging 4% to all these brands out there? So stay tuned. We are going to begin shortly. Till then, feel free to put up where are you joining us from in the chat box. And also, if you want to share a little bit about your brand, even the brand name would work. And also, if you guys, any one of you have already opted for or have become eligible for this 4% already, please do that, share that as well. We would know we have an expert in house then. But yeah, guys, it's going to be super exciting. These are all new times. A lot of things are changing. And we are going to learn 1%. And what we are going to discuss today is just the tip of the iceberg. So it's just zero point 0.1 or 1% of the whole landscape change that's happening very, very rapidly. So definitely, something to look forward to. But yeah, I think, it's time we have a good quorum. And because we just have 30 minutes to discuss today, I'll begin. Hey, Marlon, so nice to have you here. Uh, so yeah, guys. So I'm Sonakshi. I'm co-founder and CEO of Manifest AI. Today we are going to discuss about all about agentic e-commerce and specifically why ChatGPT wants 4% of your revenue. And we are going to deep dive on what it exactly means, who are going to get charged that 4%, who are not going to get charged around 4%, who are eligible to get onboarded to the program that they have launched, everything around that. So please stay tuned. So now starting off, little bit about Manifest. So Manifest is essentially an AI shopping assistant that sits on top of your website. It helps you enable a lot of things for your shoppers, whether it's product recommendation, product search, post-purchase queries, for example, like where's my order, claim, any warranty, post-order, or there's so many things that usually your shoppers or customers want post purchase. So it takes care of everything. We are backed by Sequoia Capital and Y Combinator. Now, beginning our journey about agentic e-commerce, there has been a lot of buzz. Like we go through so many articles on a daily basis, so many conferences surrounding just around agentic commerce. But what is it all about? It's very confusing, it's very overwhelming. There are so many tools trying to sell us so many things in the name of agentic commerce. But what's really happening? Where is the world moving? So today we are going to discuss that. And of all of this, the biggest news that came in a couple of weeks back was Shopify merchants to pay 4% fee on ChatGPT checkout sales. What does this mean? Like if someone's, asking normal questions to GPT and GPT is recommending your product, will you get charged 4%? If the answer is yes or no, we are going to discuss that. And the answer to that question is yes and no both. And we'll discover that when it's a yes and when it's a no in today's call. Now, decoding. So, how Shopify is terming all of this ecosystem change as agentic storefront. So, when let's say you take your Shopify storefront today and you optimize it for LLMs using different various means, which we are going to discuss today. Then Shopify is terming it as agentic storefront. So the storefronts which are optimized for LLMs and in a way that it becomes not just discoverable, but also there is an end-to-end purchase happening on ChatGPT. Then the terminology that Shopify is using is agentic storefront. Now, whether it's good, whether it's bad, what does it really mean? We are going to discuss in next slide. So today, if we look at, if we just zoom out at a traditional e-commerce buyer journey looks something like this, if someone wants to buy a wireless headphone with some certain feature like noise cancellation, they start an online search, browse through brand and the marketplace websites, studies product comparison, sometimes these are reviews, sometimes these are YouTubers, video where they compare products and then make a decision and then come to your storefront, check out, make a payment, and then it gets delivered. So this is a traditional typical e-commerce journey. But when it comes to the journey that is being anticipated, and also we are seeing early signs of it already, if someone now wants to buy a wireless headphone, they'll just, let's say, go to ChatGPT. If you don't have an AI shopping assistant on your website, assuming today 80% of brands don't have it, then people will go to ChatGPT and can you please help me buy the best wireless headphones with noise cancellation under $100? Compare reviews and best possible offer delivered to home by 5 p.m. tomorrow. This is a typical prompt. Today it looks something, which is very futuristic, but we are pretty sure 6 months, 7 months down the line, these kind of prompts will become typical buyer journey in ChatGPT. So then, the agent will add item to cart, wait for confirmation or instant checkout within LLM interface. It could be GPT, it could be Claude, it could be Gemini, and then the product gets delivered to home. Now, here, what's getting eliminated? The things that are getting eliminated are your storefront. Now everything's happening on the chat GPT interface. Second thing, what's getting eliminated is your way of showing discounts, your way of, combining few products together. The power that you had on your storefront fades away. So how do you give that power back to these futuristic journeys is what we are going to understand today. So now, moving on to next, I'll just remove it from here. Yeah. So, the native ChatGPT checkout experience today looks like it, though it's in a very, very early stage. Not a lot of brands have access to it, but this is how it looks. A similar prompt that we saw in our last screen, that's how the journey starts. And then, people click on buy, and then they do a complete checkout, even the payment on ChatGPT. And this particular journey will cost 4% to this merchant. So this is the typical 4% commission that ChatGPT and Shopify are boasting about is for this flow. But the experience is not going to look same for all the brands because there are two ways. There are two ways to get discovered on GPT. One is the checkout way that you saw here. The other is you don't let people do a checkout on ChatGPT. Instead, let them discover products on ChatGPT and then bring them to your storefront. Probably you will think there could be drop-offs, etc. But the good thing about bringing them to your storefront is there is no extra fees to it. So discovery on ChatGPT is free. There is no commission to it. So this 4% commission is only when you are enabling a checkout inside ChatGPT, Geminis of the world. Otherwise, it's 0% commission. So it's not a bad news at all. It's an amazing news. And especially, if you imagine, let's say if you you're representing an apparel brand, or let's say it's a brand with higher average order value, then you will never want someone to check out on GPT, right? Like you would want them to come to your website so that in some way you gather information, at least gather some intents, and then let them make a purchase, right? So in that case, there's no fees. So what it means, there's no taxation on GPT for most of the orders that you're going to get from them. And now, there would be some brands that would love to have their checkout enabled on GPT, whether it charges them time 4%, 2%, or even 10% down the line. There are few brands which requires instant buying, like when the product is a well-known brand, and it does not have a lot of variations, then it makes sense to have the checkout enabled inside ChatGPT. In that case, what we have to remember, the loyalty programs and custom discounts are not going to get enabled on your GPT, uh, uh, whatever, the GPT storefront that you say. Second, the bundling and upselling can't happen there versus how it happens on your storefront. Third, if you have a subscription management, if you're selling subscriptions, you can't sell that through GPT. It's just pure checkout. And lastly, client side tracking. You cannot, get occurrences or understanding of people coming and how they are reacting when they are coming to GPT. So you can't integrate your GA or Metapixel over there. So here you will lose some part of revenue for sure. But at the same time, if you feel letting your clients enabling checkout on their ChatGPT interface enables more sales, then go for it. So it depends upon how you want to do it, not do it. You can also, which is, like I said, custom discounts. You cannot pass on discounts to the ChatGPT interface of checkout. So these are all things that we have to keep in mind if we really want to go for the checkout on ChatGPT or not. So this is very, very important. Now, this is the most crucial part. Not everyone is also eligible for GPT checkouts. Shopify is taking baby steps towards this because for them also they need to understand whether it adds merit to their client base or not. So number one is your store should be selling only in the US. Only storefronts which are US only are going to get eligible. Second, legal disclosures. There are some criteria that they have must be in the first 6,000 characters. It is important to have legal disclosures. Thirdly, frictionless entry. There shouldn't be any login enforcement that if you log in or if you share your email, then only you can do a checkout. You can't do all of that. Basically, you can't own the data that ChatGPT is generating for you. So that is third. And fourth is no local logistics. Like you have to disable in-store pickup and local delivery. It has to be like a proper led delivery system. These are the only considerations that Shopify is enabling your store for ChatGPT. So these are the 4 pointers that you need to remember if you really want to go for the eligibility criteria. If you really want to apply and post this meeting, we'll send you the link as well if you want to apply for it. But you need to keep in mind that these four things are really necessary. And of course, guys, if you have any questions, please put that on chat box. I'll cover them if the time permits towards the end of the call. Otherwise, we'll also share you answers on email. Going on to next, so far, we saw 4% is only when the checkout is done on GPT. Second thing, there's an eligibility criteria. Not everyone can list today, and it's very, very stringent. But there is a good news. Good news is everyone is eligible for being discoverable in GPT. The eligibility criteria that you saw here was only for the checkout if you want on ChatGPT. But if you really want to get discoverable, let's say, I'll just go back and show you. If you want to have the first screen journey for your customers and not the checkout experience, everyone is eligible. The only thing you have to achieve is the AI engine optimization. And how we do AI engine optimization, it's again a tricky topic. LLMs are not based on those check marks and parameters, how Google was running for multi decades now, but it's based on a lot of other things. It keeps getting updated real time. How it works is very, very tricky. But the things which are in our control is something which brands can take care of. And how we do that, we'll come to know in next slide. You need to use tools which tells you if chatbot like ChatGPT, Gemini are able to read your data or not. And how tools are able to know if chatbots like GPT, Gemini are able to read your data or not? Basis, like how LLMs read the data. How LLMs read the data, they do not go through like a set schema. For example, when you go back to Google days, you had a robot.txt where you had to put a schema, like, okay, this is my page structure. Inside this, these are the pages that I'm going to list. Inside that, if there were, some meta headlines that you used to list. So this is how Google used to work. It used to give you a schema, and basis that you used to deploy your website. But that has changed, So you can use any kind of tool. If you have deployed any AI shopping assistant, we have taken example of Manifest here. So we'll show you in Manifest, you get a score, and score is basis the data that you have on your storefront. Is it LLM optimized or not? And when I say LLM optimized, because it's an AI shopping assistant, it, in itself knows that whether the policies that you have uploaded, the offers and rewards that you have uploaded, even the products that you have uploaded are optimized for LLMs to read or not. And on a real time basis, it also keeps telling you the unsatisfactory responses. What it means is somewhere your GPT bot or AI shopping assistant failed reading it. So if you improvise it, it makes ChatGPT also easier to read it through. So this is all in all, when it comes to making AI read your data better, then the only thing that matters is if your data is crawlable or not. And data can be crawlable only when if you have data. We have seen so many Shopify brands, they shy away from, they get very lazy, putting right product description or giving right sizes variants to their product. They think it's intuitive and people should be able to guess and, buy the product, but it's not intuitive to AI, right? Like you have to give information. Otherwise, AI will keep generating information on its own, and the brands who are doing it by themselves wins the race. So it's very, very important to choose the tool. And of course, the tool has to be e-commerce native. That's P0, because otherwise, without that, you're going to just keep wasting your time onto things, very basic things like, those static documentation, etc. But when the tool is e-commerce native, then you get very LLM optimized structure, even when it comes to your collections and catalogs. So this is how it looks. Now moving on to next. Given, another good news is, given you have now trained your data set for LLMs already, probably using Manifest, then you can use this trained data for multiple other ways. You can build your own AI agents, because now you are enabling your discoverability on ChatGPT, not the end-to-end checkout. So when the discoverability is enabled, so you should imagine the journey here. If someone has done a prompt on ChatGPT and then they have landed onto your website, what it means is the buyer is already expecting that kind of behavior on your storefront. Now you can't tell them that, hey, now since you're here, use that static keyword search on my platform. Or there is no chat box here with AI. So, just go and assume things that you want in your mind. You can't afford that anymore. So, you should go back to your Google Analytics and see the amount of traffic that's coming through ChatGPT. These are very well aware shoppers, and they would expect similar behavior on your storefront. But the good news is you can use the same trained data to enable agents. So, like this is how something it gets powered up. The data is sent to Shopify. It's an on-site agent deployed, blah, blah, blah. I'll skip this. But then, after using all of that, you get multiple other agents that you can deploy basis the need of your business. So let's say if it's an apparel brand, you can do a style match agent, or you can do a size guide agent. If you are looking into the customer experience side for your company, then order tracking agent, or defect reporting and resolution agent. There are multiple use cases that you can do. In fact, you can also enable an AI agent on your social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, using the same AI that gets trained for your LLM. So this is very, very powerful. You don't have to keep redoing it. You don't have to deploy a lot of team to do it. It's very straightforward and very, very indulging for your shoppers. And you know what? These agents also give you real-time understanding of what they're trying to search. What percentage of people were here to look for offers? What percentage of people were here to ask for product details? And other different intents that they are usually on their websites, on your website, sorry. So, you get tons of information to make your storefront better. Last thing, which is execution and the dev myth. We have seen, people keep saying this looks amazing, but I'm not a coder, and it will take a lot of time to deploy it, and I don't have time. It's already end of Q1. We just have 3 quarters to go. I have to achieve my target. What they really don't understand it's very, very easy. Myth number one is it takes 6 months. Not at all. It's very easy. It just takes couple of days to train your AI to at least go on the phase one live phase for your storefront. After that, everything is usually on the auto mode. But if you want to improvise, there are ways you can do that on the go. So it's a myth, 6 months. Then the second myth is you need a huge team. It's actually the opposite, like once you start deploying such agents, the team size, if you want, you can shrink the team size, or you can move some people of your team size to train AI to make AI better. Because if you saw those agents, you can deploy n number of agents, right? You can do A/B testing. If I deploy an agent today of this versus an agent tomorrow of something other, you can keep doing A/B test and see. So deploy your team into right use cases versus those manual tasks that they were doing so far. And you know what? These agents are also passing on information and data to your marketing tools like Klaviyo. You can build segments, you can use intents to figure out whom to retarget or not. So it's very, very powerful. Lastly, the one path that you are going to choose in future is your own agents, enable discovery on ChatGPT, deploy your own agents on your storefront, take the control, protect your brand, 100% your margin. The other route is, you go through the eligibility criteria, enable checkout on ChatGPT, give them 4% commission, and don't own the data. But it's up to you. There is nothing right or wrong into doing or taking any path. It depends upon what the size of brand is, what you're selling, what are your core priorities. It totally depends on that. So yeah, I'll, like quickly before, wrapping this up. Uh, we are launching a course that I keep repeating in all of my sessions. So we are launching this course actually next week. And if you want to register for it, there's a link in the chat. My team must have shared it. Just, it's a free course. You are going to learn about how to become an AI commerce engineer. What it means is how you can readily build and deploy commerce agents for your brand. And it does, involve a lot of, I would say career upgrade when you do learn such things. So if you want, you can go ahead and register for it. And then, happy to offer a one-to-one agent strategy call. My Calendly is also there in the chat box. Happy to discuss with you guys and understand which agent might suit you better. Or even if it's about, whether you should go the 4% route or you should go the discovery route, we can, debate on that as well. So happy to give my time. It's a 30-minute session, it's free session. So, feel free, go ahead and book my Calendly. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. We still have some time. So if you have questions, happy to answer them. Just let me open the chat box. Thank you, Jennifer. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to put them on chat box. Otherwise, also happy to take them offline, post this call over email. Anything works. Okay, so there's a question. Would there be value in setting up both ChatGPT checkout and also your own agents? Absolutely, um, we are not sure how ChatGPT will, will it allow brands to have the discoverability and checkout both, enabled for a brand. But if it does, I would say go for it because it will give you an A/B test of what's working for you better. But yeah, it's always good to have agents deployed on your storefront. Does ChatGPT process payment for checkout? Yeah, so the checkout is powered through ShopPay. If you have enabled ShopPay already, so the ChatGPT checkout that you're seeing is essentially the ShopPay checkout. So everything remains same for you. There's no difference. Just that the settlement that you'll get would be a reduction of 4%. Um, do you have demo journeys posted? Yeah, we have some journeys live. So we'll, like after this call, we are going to share that across, Jennifer. If that's what you meant, some examples of journeys, we'll send that across if that's what you meant. Do we need to create a feed for ChatGPT? Those are requirements now. No, not really. So it doesn't work like how the Facebook or Google worked. Over there you had to create a Google feed or a Facebook feed. You don't have to do that anymore. Your Shopify storefront is enough. The only thing that you have to ensure is that the data that you have on your storefront is LLM friendly. And how you do that, you can either take like a tool like Manifest, where you get sanity of data just because you are also deploying an AI shopping assistant, or you can also do that with different knowledge base apps. Right after this call, we can share that across as well. But there is no external feed that you need to create for GPT. And am I understanding a brand could set up A/B testing for agentic customer journey start to finish? Yes. So if you're deploying agentic customer journeys on your website, yes, A/B testing is available, especially in Manifest. You can set the percentage of people whom should be looking at your AI agent-led storefront and the percentage of people who should look your previous old-fashioned storefront. So you can set it, it's a sliding bar. You can just set the percentage and A/B test for yourself. You can also A/B test different product pages if you want, or home versus product page. You can also do that on your collection page or search page as well. So it's very, very flexible. Max is asking, conversation started at ChatGPT should be continued at the storefront. Does ChatGPT pass over to manifest the context questions of the conversation happened at ChatGPT? Right now, it does not, but there are other ways which we can handle this in future through the URL query params, but right now it does not. Are there key differences between ChatGPT and Claude AI we should consider? Uh, yeah, so the biggest difference between GPT and Claude right now is GPT is the only player charging commissions, but GPT is also the only player that has enabled checkout. Other players have only enabled discovery so far. At what revenue threshold does it make sense to have an AI agent? Usually, I would say one thing about LLMs is the sooner you get started, the better, because, the more it gets trained, the more it gets better. But again, if your volume is small, let's say, if you're doing about 10, $20,000 a month from your website, then maybe you can skip it. But beyond that, I would really highly recommend. And the good thing about deploying AI agent is the charges are based on the usage. So you don't have to pay really much, but it's always better to start sooner. Is there a B2B option as well? Oh, yeah. So you can build any kind of agent. If you want to build out an agent where you want to take up your retailers' details, etc., you can do that as well. But if there are any specific use cases, we can discuss and figure out how it works for your company. Um, Okay, can we connect our brand voice with? Oh, absolutely. Your brand, you can customize anything you would like, the brand voice, or you can also customize this basis the seasonality of your brand. Let's say, if it's the festival season or if it's the season of discount, you can change the tonality as well. And not just tonality, you can change a lot of other params, how it behaves with your shoppers, how it behaves with certain shoppers. If you want to collect a lead post couple of message conversation that happens with agent, you can do that as well. So it's very, very customizable. Happy to walk you through as well if you have some time. uh, But yeah, guys, this was amazing. So many questions. I'll write an email. You'll receive my Calendly as well shortly. Thank you so much for joining in. As next steps, I'll share certain details and what we learned in today's session over email. Thank you so much for taking out time and have a lovely day ahead. Bye.